It's not something you would script necessarily, Jamie Carragher, but we've just seen a lovely moment down there where the Liverpool players who did take part in this game were sending the unused substitutes over with the trophy to celebrate in front of the Liverpool fans. How key is that to Liverpool's success, the fact that everybody feels included, even the players who didn't make it into the matchday squad today?
No, I agree, and I think to win any tournament, we know it's not about the team, it's about the squad. But probably none more so than the Carabao Cup, because we know it is a squad where lots of young players are used, that, you know, certainly in the early rounds. Obviously, most teams now put the backup keeper right to the final, as we saw with Liverpool. And I think the really special thing today was Jurgen Klopp made some really brave substitutions. He took two experienced players off in Joel Matip and Jordan Henderson and brought Konate on and Harvey Elliott. So you think of actually not just the goalkeeper today and the experience that he's got. A lot of young players there involved for Liverpool, so that'll stand, you know, them and also the club in good stead going forward. So some really brave substitutions for Jurgen Klopp, and it was, you know, it's turned out well for him.
Yeah, in terms of the decisions that Klopp made throughout this game, some of them enforced through injury. Diaz went off with what looked like it might be a hamstring injury, and we'll get more details on that a bit later on. Were they the right calls in terms of the starting 11? Were the tactical changes the right ones, do you think? Or do you look at that now with hindsight and think, well, if they won it, they had to be?
Yeah, they won it. I mean, they ran out of steam a little bit towards the end. You know, when you're taking off Mane, it's obviously going to affect the team and the flow and the way that they're playing. But you can't fault it. You won. I think once you get to extra time, players are getting fatigued. You don't know what's going to happen. So getting to penalties, Jimmy's mentioned it, it's a lottery. And then you need a little bit of luck. The quality of penalties from both sides was incredible until it got down to the goalkeeper.
If you're playing in a cup final that goes to penalties, do you want it to get down to your goalkeeper? Do you want it to be reliant on your goalkeeper scoring and saving against his opposite number, or at least putting them off enough that they
What
miss?
I will say, Kelly, is I think all of us that have been involved in football, goalkeepers spend so much time striking the ball. They spend hours shooting at goal. They know they strike the ball probably better than most outfield players because they have to kick it so far. But the problem was, you know, Kepa's one, he just leant back, and I think Jimmy said it a minute ago. What did you describe it as, Jim?
Well, look, he's not a penalty taker. He's not a penalty taker, and I think he was confused with having a goal kick instead of taking a penalty. You know, he laced it and it went far over the bar instead of just...
It was a good goal kick, though, wasn't it?
It was a great goal kick, you know. But
It's still going.
Look, no, but you side-footed in the back of the net, or you try to find a corner, you know, like Carragher did, you know. But look, it's easier saying for me here, I'm sitting here, I'm not under pressure. I have been in those moments, and I would side-foot it, but obviously I'm not a goalkeeper. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy. Listen, he's missed it. You know better than me. You took penalties. I didn't, but we've seen players do that. It's not just a goalkeeper thing. We've seen players, top players.
I saw you taking one in the final.
One out of one.
And you side-footed it in.
That was enough.
Hey.
But listen, it ends up with the goalkeepers. He's gone up to try and strike it with his lace. If he puts that right down the middle, we say what a great strike. It's not just a goalkeeper thing now. We've seen some great players take penalties like that. It's just unfortunate it comes down to the goalkeepers. And as you say, you're not used to being in that position. But, you know, the Liverpool, keeper just came out on top.
Well, the Liverpool players and the Liverpool manager have been celebrating down on the pitch. Jurgen Klopp broke away momentarily to talk to Guy Havard.
Jurgen, I think you said after your semi-final win against Arsenal, Jurgen Carragher will be my goalkeeper at Wembley, but even you couldn't have imagined how it would end.
No, of course not. Look, I think even in professional football, there should be space for some sentiment, to be honest. So, and it's a young boy, we ask him to do a lot. He gets the competition, he starts playing, and then in the final I tell him, no, you don't play. I'm two things, a professional football manager and a human being. And a human being won this time, and that's why it's so nice that it pays off. He deserves it. When we told Ali that he will not play, we have at the AXA training center, we have a wall at the goalkeeper area where all goalkeepers are on who won something. When we told him he will not play, I said, oh great, if we win it, we can put cream on it as well. So that's exactly how it should be, absolutely great.
And Harvey Elliott as well scored a big penalty, and he wasn't even supposed to be on your subs bench.
And look, that's how you do a squad. So we start with Thiago if Thiago struggles, we can bring on Naby. So it means another creative player. You have to make decisions. It's crazy, the decision I have to make. So that's why Harvey was on the squad, but then the closest to come on pretty much. That's how it sometimes is.
So how do you sum up the 2 hours of football and the 22 penalties?
Oh, I'm fine now, obviously. But I would have been fine with 90 minutes, 1-0 Liverpool, and we go home. But for the people, the excitement factor, obviously, was really good. So I'm happy for the people in dark and or difficult times to celebrate something like this. It's nice, really nice.
And you've got your win at Wembley. You said it would happen, third time.
How many losers said before a game, I think I will win? I brought it countless. So I thought we have a chance. Chelsea is incredibly strong. You saw we match each other. So they started better, then we were better. They started again better, then we were better in the end. Both teams were knackered, we have to say. It's a really long game.
Who was the little boy who lifted the trophy with you?
I don't know. Ali brought him over, and his dad was shouting, "Let him touch the trophy," and you can go.
So a fabulous win today, but bigger trophies ahead. It sets you up nicely, doesn't it, for the last few months of the season?
Yeah, of course. That's the start. If you want. I mean, we are not silly. There's so many things. You need to have luck. We needed luck tonight. Unbelievable. I think the game could have been 5-5 without offside rule. It probably would have been 5-5. So obviously we have justified. We have to work hard. We play on Wednesday again, which I cannot believe in this moment, but we will give it a try. It will be nice. Home game. Anfield will be rocking because of tonight, and hopefully we can then deliver a game as well to enjoy. But yeah.
Many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, Jurgen Klopp trying to put that extraordinary day into some kind of context. The context we can put it into is his record in cup finals, because although it hadn't been great coming into, it seems to have got better recently. Obviously, that's down to the fact that he's had arguably the best squad that he's had, but he says he does it normally on the third attempt. But look, you look at what he's done in Borussia Dortmund, you look at what he's done at Liverpool, and Jamie, you've said that before the game, and you said it in the immediate aftermath of this one, you'd like to see Liverpool go for more of these domestic trophies.
Yeah, I think so, because I just think, this Jurgen Klopp era, and I use Pep Guardiola's Man City as a case in point, and Chelsea some ways, that even if they don't win the biggest competitions, which we know is the Premier League and the Champions League for these clubs, still trying to pick up a trophy. Jamie's interview with Azpilicueta before the game, he mentioned sometimes when they have what they call a tough season, can they still pick something up? Now, we don't know what this season will bring for Liverpool. Now, of course, the Premier League and the Champions League is still there, really, for them to get their hands on, but it's so tough to win those competitions. You never know whether you're going to get there, or you could lose in a final, lose on a poor decision. Anything can happen. So I just think it's imperative, and this team that Liverpool have got now, I think it is one of the best Liverpool teams we've ever seen. Now, the teams that your dad played in won an awful lot more than them, won this competition thing 4 times in a row. So I do think it's important over the next couple of years Liverpool start winning a few more domestic cup competitions, alongside obviously the big trophies, which is what they'll go for, and that is what they deserve, because the football they've played, the results they've had over the last 3 or 4 years, this team, they have been some team, and not just a Liverpool team, some really top Premier League team that we've seen over the years.
Those teams that did win domestic trophies alongside league titles or European Cups, Jamie, did it with a very tight squad. Now it's necessary to have a much bigger squad. Does Klopp now have the depth to be able to challenge on more fronts?
Yeah, I think it's a great point as well, because it's almost they've added 2 players to the window, because Harvey Elliott's coming back from injury is so important, just gives you an extra body in midfield. And I think anybody that's witnessed Luis Diaz since he signed for Liverpool will go, we've got a very special player here. He fits the mould, the profile of what Liverpool want. He works hard when he hasn't got the ball. He's got genius feet when he has it. He goes past people. He's got an eye for goal. He is the all-round team player that Jurgen Klopp and all of the staff at Liverpool like to identify. He looks like he's going to be a sensational player and just adds to what they've already got. So you've always got an option. You've got a Jota, you've got a Diaz, you can rotate, and then that's what gives you the options.
Just jumping in on that point, the interesting thing about the Diaz signing is Liverpool only signed him because Tottenham went for him, and I think he could make a massive difference to Liverpool this season, not just because of his performances. He was brilliant today. But you actually think what Liverpool's team would have been like if he hadn't been signed. So Jota wasn't 100%. Firmino's missed out. So you'd have possibly gone into the game with just Salah and Mane and maybe Minamino or Origi, who we know are not quite at their level, whereas Diaz is at their level. I think it's just something for Liverpool to sort of remind themselves. This fella could make a huge difference for Liverpool this season in terms of winning big trophies. Now, if Tottenham hadn't gone for him, Liverpool wouldn't have got him. If you think there's a player there that you think you want and you can go and get him.